Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Therapy Tip Tuesday. I'm Mr. Nick, and you could find me in the Stony Brook office. So, today I'm going to be talking about internal memory strategies. So, what are internal memory strategies? They're basically methods which I use in my sessions, which I teach to my clients, my students, on how to remember information, different ways to remember information, right? So, I like to do this with my adult patients who may be suffering from aphasia. Aphasia is a loss of receptive and expressive language due to either maybe a stroke, a traumatic brain injury, maybe you have some kind of progressive or degenerative disorder, Parkinson's, Huntington's, Alzheimer's, dementia, things of that nature. And I also like to use it on some of my younger ones, my kids who may have memory goals, processing goals, story retell goals. I like to go over these memory strategies. So I like to use some called the C.R.A.V.E approach. So C.R.A.V.E, C.R.A.V.E, that's the acronym. So the C in the C.R.A.V.E approach stands for chunking. So what chunking basically is you're taking two related items or pieces of information, determining that they could kind of both work in the same category, and you put them together. And when you put them together and you understand that they could relate to each other, it's going to help you remember those two items, right? So the R in C.R.A.V.E stands for repetition. And repetition is exactly what it sounds. Just keep repeating, playing information back in your head over and over until you get it. One of the best ways to help you remember things, also one of the easiest ways to help you remember things. The A in C.R.A.V.E is association. So this is basically you're taking new information and you're associating it to things in real life. So a quick example of that will kind of be like, all right, you met somebody new, their name is Bill. Oh, I could remember your name Bill because my dad's name is Bill, or I have a cousin or another friend named Bill. So you're connecting new information to already established information in your life. The V in C.R.A.V.E stands for visualization. So this is basically just picturing what's going on in your head, having a mental image of it. And then the E stands for elaboration. This is basically taking information and turning it into a story. So I'm going to show you all an activity I like to use in my sessions to target memory using these strategies. So usually a client comes in, or my students, and they have goals that fit for me to use this approach, right? So my first activity would be I'll give them 6 words. So let's say the words are New York, Miami, cold, warm, airplane, and palm tree will be our last word. All right, ready? So I have the words written down on my board over here, and I will go to my student, my client, and I'll say, all right, what is a way to help us remember these words? And this is after I just went through all the C.R.A.V.E strategies, just like I did with you guys just now, right? So the first one was chunking. C stood for chunking, right? So we're taking two things that could kind of fit in the same category. So in this specific example, ready? We have New York and Miami, right? New York and Miami, they're both cities. They both go together. They're both under the same category. So you could chunk these two, right? We have cold and warm. Two words often related to temperature, right? So we could chunk and put together cold and warm. They fit under the same category. But how about airplane and palm tree? Can't really chunk those two together, right? So you often have to use several strategies, right? So the R, right? Repetition. We'll just repeat. New York, cold, airplane. Miami, warm, palm tree. New York, cold, airplane. Miami, warm, palm tree. You say it 3 or 4 times. Repeat it enough. It helps. The repetition helps you retain the words in your head better, right? The association. Thinking of things in your environment, things that's going on in your life. Well, I know New York is really cold right now, and I know Miami is really warm. I wish I was on a plane to see the palm trees, right? Especially a day like today. I woke up today, it was snow on the ground in New York, so you definitely know I would have rather been in Miami in the nice warm temperature with the palm trees. So relating things to your day-to-day life, that's association. Visualization, right? Imagining in your head, you're thinking of a cold, snowy New York City. You want to go on a palm tree to be sitting on a nice warm beach in Miami. So you're picturing in a cold city, you maybe freezing in New York, and then you're picturing you maybe in a bathing suit laying out on the beach in Miami under a palm tree. Visualizing the picture in your head, right? Last one is elaboration. So we're turning it into a story, right? So I don't know, maybe Mr. Nick is in New York. It's really cold. He has a friend in Miami where it's warm. I'm going to go hop on a plane to visit them under a palm tree. Any kind of story like that to help you remember. So that is kind of the crash course in the 5 strategies. And you could apply these strategies to more activities than just this. So with something like this, what I would do is I would, at the beginning of the session, we would do this, right? I would show them the board. We'll go over the strategies. All right. You think you know it? Okay, cool. So we'll start doing a different activity. We'll start working on some. And then 15 minutes into the session, I would bring my board back and be like, do you remember those 6 words, right? So I'll try to cue my patients and see how many they can remember on their own. And let's say they can't remember the word New York. So then I will give a semantic cue, we call it. Semantics mean word meaning. So I would say it's a city. There's a lot of taxis there. There's a Statue of Liberty. So you're kind of hinting at it, and they would say, "Oh, New York." And if they still can't find the word, they would give a phonemic cue. So you're kind of giving the sound of the words. So ready? The place is new, and they say New York. Good, right? So let's say we do the activity, and they get 4 out of 6 of the words. All right. So we go through them again, review the strategies one more time. They repeat it a few times. Repeat the words a few times. Put the board back down. Another 15 minutes go by. At the end of the session, I'll say, all right, what were those 6 words? This time, they repeat all 6. All good. Great job for the day. 100%. So this is just one activity I like to use these strategies for. You could also modify it and use it in other things. So maybe you want to do something with more open-ended questions, right? Let's say you give a scenario like Karen is at the mall. She has to go buy a new camera or something. So you could associate it. Well, I've been to the mall and I bought a camera before. You could say the story to yourself a couple times in your head. You could visualize this person, Karen, going in the mall to get a new camera. Turn it into a story yourself, So, really versatile. It's really good. It's really good for adults and kids with memory goals who need help retaining information. So I hope this is helpful. It's easy to done at home. I wish you all luck with it, and I'll see you next time.